Hello, friends. Welcome back to Saturday Evenings Posted Mostly Presents with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308. And we're here with the Peanut Gallery and the ASOC Prod Cat. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
And there was a hello. We have a few things to talk about today, but it really is it's not even general chaos today, it's random chaos today. It is some random chaos today. I'm still feeling a little out of sorts from apparently having gotten sick last week. This last week. So, I will do my best to be on point and on time, but I might have a few moments where I have a hard time stringing thoughts together, but that's normal. Now, we will start, of course, today with our ad read.
Yeah.
Hi, Chris into 386, by the way. Oh, that explains why Chris into 386 typing stuff to our chat that he means to be typing to someone else and randomly confusing the heck out of me.
Yeah. Between the two of us, that's not hard to do.
No, not hard at all. Today's pre-rolls brought to you by The Hidden Leaf, downtown Charlottesville on the Downtown Mall, 105 West Main Street, Suite 200, above the bricks, between the Green Cauldron and Hamilton's. A great place to go with some great buds to get some great buds. A bud, and the only thing better than their bud is their customer service. Also, they have the lowest prices in town, according to my own personally highly biased research, by which I mean I was incredibly high when I did my biased research. A note of disclosure, we are an opinionated group of people. This is a politically and socially opinionated channel. All of our sponsors are businesses and do not have such opinions, so our opinions represent us and us alone. They are not shared by any of our advertisers, including, but not limited to, the Kush Gang, Firehouse, or the Hidden Leaf. Don't forget to check the website for times and events, such as Frosty Friday's private sales event. The website is thehiddenleafcville.com. That's The Hidden Leaf, CVILLE.com. Tasty. I think I got through that. Christian 386 says I got my laptop going and my desktop. Well, that's a whole lot of tops. I hope you're enough bottom for all of that.
You need your rim shot for that one, dear.
I do.
There was definitely a rim shot in there.
How do you know? Have you been watching?
The cats told us so.
That's the one time it's the one time I wish cats wouldn't cat. Stop watching! Like, I'm trying to do something here.
They're like, we know. Can we help? Or
No!
worse, can we critique?
No! And claws don't help anything.
No, they don't.
See, that's that dry hacking cough. That's the problem. And that worries me because that's not my normal cough.
Nope.
It makes me think that this was that, and the brain fog makes me think that this might have been the thing. Well, all right, friends. We have, for a couple of weeks, been promising that we would talk about... we've been promising we'd talk about the video game voice actors strike.
So your first thing there is Wikipedia, which actually gives you a little bit more history on the strike, and the second one is the most recent news article about it. One of the most recent news articles about it.
Huh.
Yep.
Not to be confused with the 2016-2017 video game voice actor strike.
Yep.
So, SAG-AFTRA initiated a labor strike involving unions, voice actors, and motion capture artists against American video game companies signed to the union's interactive media agreements over failed renegotiation terms of the contract that expired in November of 2022. Year and a half of negotiations, which failed to result in protection agreement from the use of artificial intelligence for all performers covered by interactive media agreement. In addition to video game performers, where the concerns about companies having the ability to train AI to replicate an actor's voice or create digital replica of their likeness. It seems to me that what, what is going on here is, well, we know that what's going on is that they're, hi, Just Me Crystal. They're striking because they are not given any guarantees that they won't be replaced by AI.
True. If you read further down in that Wikipedia article, it gives you a list of milestones that have been reached so far during the strike. And it does include certain what is it? Yeah, you got there first. It does include certain companies that have been released to actually start having their voice actors back because they've signed. Mostly
Ah.
so far, it seems to be a whole bunch of smaller companies that have looked at the contracts and been like, fine, and they've signed and gone with it. And now they're left with some of the more major companies that are holding out that don't have their voice actors back yet.
Okay, where is that? Where is that information?
Scroll down. Well, oops. I hear you. Let's see. Down under there, strike. Let's see. If you go down through the where it says strike and it starts July 25th, 2024.
Yes.
Let's see. September 17th, you've got California governor signing 2 bills that grant protections against AI usage.
Uh-huh.
The first one granting protection against AI being used for performers that have passed, and it protects them and their estate. The second one effectively protects living performers.
Okay. All right. So, now the companies that are signed on. What we're looking for here is the companies that haven't signed on and the companies that have signed on. The companies who have their actors back.
Let's see.
Looks like League of Legends was one of the ones that was the major offender.
Yes. Still
Riot
is, apparently.
Games. Yeah. I never got into League of Legends. It never quite grabbed me. I'm looking.
And one of the reasons that they're still a holdout is because they tried to go around by holding a casting call for non-union talent only.
Ooh, scab dick move. Not nice. Not cool, man. Not cool. Not cool.
One of the companies that has signed
Yeah.
is Lightspeed Studios.
Okay. What do they make?
I am not entirely certain. Let's see. Let me pull that up.
Oh. Fran Drescher is still the president of SAG-AFTRA, apparently.
Yep.
At least I hope she is.
Well, all right. So one of the titles that Lightspeed does is Last Sentinel.
Okay. That doesn't do me much good, but okay.
Yeah. Well, that's
You know, the ones that I'm really worried about, the ones that really affect my people specifically are pretty much Apex, Overwatch, Sea of Thieves.
But that's 2 Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean, those are pretty much the ones that, like, those are the ones that definitely have voiceover stuff going on that I think, and I guess Fork Knife. I mean, Those are the ones that the people that, that my people seem to play.
Mm.
I mean, I care about all of that. I want all of the voice actors to have their guarantees, of course. I'm
Right.
I'm very pro artist.
Mm.
And I think that and pro union, and I think it's the artists' rights to strike and say, hey, don't replace us with robots. You know, I mean, I wouldn't mind being a voiceover artist. I wouldn't mind getting some voiceover work. I don't really want to be replaced by a robot. I feel where they're coming from.
Mm.
Um I think the real huh?
Especially, all right. I listen to a lot of audiobooks and things like that. And they're the AI version of text to speech for audiobooks. Sometimes it can be really nice, and sometimes it's just really painful.
I believe that. I believe that.
Especially on known works where they had a human reader before, so they actually had someone that was pronouncing the words and took the time to say words correctly.
Mhm.
And you get an AI reader of it, and it's just
Yeah.
words that are normally said normally become bizarre abstracts, and you're like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Yes. Yes.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Yes.
Oh.
Radio Alphabet.
No, I mean I it was taking that and translating it into the vernacular of the day. That's where
Yeah.
I got Tango Foxtrot. I got it was the WTF that it took me a second to decode.
Aha.
That's the other thing is that with AI reading, now voiceovers for whatever I don't know how to do, but for actual books, there are some models that are set up where they will take simple words and decide that it's an acronym. So instead of saying the cat took, you know, it was a cat, the AI reader will go, IT was a cat.
Especially
No.
with it and IT, because IT is close to its heart, so to speak.
Yeah. But
Ma.
oh, yeah. No. People need to read the peoply things.
Yes, I agree. People should be peopling. I, it's very easy to be very broad about this whole thing and very anti AI in general. But I do sort of feel like, yeah, people should be doing the peoply things. We should relegate AI to doing the things that we really don't want to do. I ran into somebody recently who was like, I want I want my AI to do, not just to do my laundry, I want it to be able to gather my laundry off the floor, put it in the washing machine on the right cycle, switch loads, fold it, put it away. You know, why do we have AI trying to act in a video game when what we really need is AI that cleans our bathrooms, folds and puts away our laundry? AI that does plumbing work. We need AI plumbing bots. That's what I want.
Oh no.
Because I mean, if we're gonna go this route, then why are we using AI to do all the stuff that, like, we actually still kind of want to do?
Yeah, no. The best quote I've seen on it so far is someone that said, I need AI to do my chores. So I have more time to be creative. I don't want AI to be creative, so I have more time to do my chores.
Right. Exactly.
Motion capture, doing the drawing and stuff, doing all the creative bits of making a video game. All of that is your art, your expression, your creativity. Why do we want to take all that away? We have more time to do chores.
Right. It really is, you know. Yeah.
Now, if you are a company and you're properly licensing and negotiating with the estate of somebody, like, say, James Earl Jones, so that you can use AI to do his voice to do your Lion King video game or whatever, great.
Right.
That's a perfect use for AI.
In that one moment, for that one game, for that one specific instance. But every game, every iteration of the game, needs to be renegotiated.
Yes.
Or there needs to be a consideration for future use given in the negotiations now.
Yes.
You know, like, voice actors get paid for residual use of their voice by AI.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the idea, I guess, there being that actors own the rights to the likeness of their face and voice.
They do. And that's why you've got all those photo deals that they work so hard on. Is
right.
If they've got the photo deals and stuff to be in this thing or that thing, then that should hold up across the board, not just be for this 10 minutes right now.
Right. It is a it's a bit of a I feel very strongly about the artists maintaining their right to own themselves. The other side of this argument I feel is basically that by owning the rights to the likenesses of the artists, by by the artists having the ownership over the rights to their look, to their appearance and their voice and their likeness and all of that. I think the studio's argument is that it is stifling creativity on the part of the studios.
No, it's not.
I mean, I don't know what the studio's argument is, other than it costs us money.
That's their entire argument there, is that it costs us money. But on the other hand, if, let's go with, I don't know, who's a really big person now?
Well, I mean, I really am working on why should the studios be allowed to do this, to copy. What's their argument as to why?
Honestly, their argument is most likely, in part, maintaining the integrity of a character. So, you've got a specific character that you do not have access to that person any longer because they're just not here anymore.
Right. Carrie Fisher, yeah, we'll go with Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia in that one.
Your argument of, we don't have her anymore, but we want to continue with this storyline, having access to her likeness and being able to do this would, continue the franchise. I can see that argument, but if you're making that argument, then you need to pay the estate for that. Should you be paying necessarily as much for a person actually putting in the hours that she would be for makeup and costuming and doing all of that? Probably not. But should you be paying the estate for the license to use her image? Yes. Should the estate be able to come back and say, here's your license and you can only do these things with her, and anything outside of that voids your license and we sue you to the ground? Yes.
That's fair.
Because unfortunately, movie companies have shown us that once they get that little teeny tiny,
they'll do whatever they can.
Yeah.
They will do whatever they want, whatever they can, and that, I mean, we all know that this is very much a profit motive driven thing. Trying to figure out what their argument outside of that profit motivation is really just sort of an academic game, because ultimately what they are really driven by is profit motive.
Yeah. Now, should they be able to license a living person's voice and likeness for AI? Unless there's a very specific case, I don't think so. Because if it's a living person, they can actually perform in whatever production they want, they should pay the person. You want so-and-so's voice to be in this next Pixar movie, pay the person.
Well, okay. What if you want someone in a video game to offer, what if you really want the dialogue options in a video game to be unlimited, and you want the player's character to be able to speak to be able to say unlimited things in that character's voice, would that justify the use of licensing an actor's voice and license for AI?
Potentially, but it also depends upon the comfort level of the person involved. Because maybe the reason they can't get that person to sit there and just record a dictionary is because that person has words that they are not okay with their voice saying.
That's fair. And that's understandable. Actors, artists of all stripes should be able to say, I won't say this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's fair. However, I feel like in that case, the actor could opt out of being in that video game altogether. Because once you're going into such an open world concept video game, anything could happen, everything's fair game, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have unlimited dialogue options. This is just a thought experiment at the moment.
Yes.
So.
We're dealing with hypotheticals.
Hypotheticals.
But the what ifs are fun.
Well, part of how you test math and physics theories is by testing their extremes and seeing what happens.
So, in that thing, either there would be a specific clause in a contract that could be pointed to later and someone held accountable for allowing specific words to be said. The voice actor could opt out.
But this is also, a very, very, very specialized case. But my point being that I think that the case for AI should be made every time it's suggested. Not that we need to make the case against AI in every situation.
Fair enough.
In other words, I think the producers, directors, the studios shouldn't lean towards AI. And then whenever they do have to use AI, they should justify it. Does that make sense?
It should be an accurately weighed pro and con, and if the only pro is
saves money,
doing to save money and not pay the actor, it should not be done.
Right.
If that's really truly the only reason to use AI, you're offering it as a suggestion, and the only thing for it, the only reason for it is it will save the company money so we don't have to pay the actor at all.
Right.
Or it will save money so we only have to pay the actor a small amount just one time. then it should not be used.
Right.
If there's an ongoing license, if there's an actually, I'm not gonna. I would love to say ethically negotiated contract, but these are movie people,
And there is no ethical consumption under capitalism.
but at least a mutually beneficial contract negotiated that both parties are happy with, and that both parties can choose to void and renegotiate later.
Yes.
These
So-
forever contracts should not exist.
No.
Um,
And so what we're saying though ultimately is that we side with the actors here.
yes. And one that's probably going to get some people mad is, I think that the states and their hold on likenesses at a certain point should run out.
Go deeper into that.
All right, copyright.
Yes.
So, when copyright runs out, you can legally take and use things that were held under copyright and use them as part of your works.
Yep.
It's a Wonderful Life. That's why it ran as every holiday special forever for so long.
Right. Because it was in the public domain.
Exactly.
No one wanted to renew the copyright license for it because it bombed in the box office.
Right.
Right.
And then it became the holiday classic, and everybody looked around and went, oh, crap.
But at that point, it was in the
right.
public domain. And once
Exactly.
something is in the public domain, it is very hard to take it out of the public domain.
So,
I honestly don't know if it's even possible. Once something's in the public domain, I don't know if it's possible to take it out of the public domain.
not really. The closest was Disney pulling their, we want to extend our copyright. And they got told, this is as far as you can extend it. It cannot be extended any further.
And they, oh boy, did they pushed
They're still
it.
arguing that.
They pushed it almost. I think they've at least doubled, if not tripled, the life of a copyright.
They have. They have.
I mean,
But
in my lifetime, copyrights. There are copyrights that should have turned over twice.
at least.
From the start, from the start of my lifetime, too. It's like the decisions came after I was born.
Yep.
And doubled and tripled the lifetime of the copyrights, which is why Winnie the Pooh is just now. It should have been in the public domain by the time I was
3.
ish.
Yeah.
We will go with ish. Before my first decade of life, probably should have been in the public
Before
domain.
you were 10, yes.
Although it's possible it should have been, it's possible that I was, but so
Anyway,
public domain is
Commercial.
yes, it is commercial.
that's nice. I'm going to continue even though there's a commercial. So my
Your
thing is that if you've got an estate that has this hold on your likeness, on your voice, on whatever,
Yeah.
among other things, they can't go back and say X movie has entered the public domain, but we still maintain our hold on the likeness and voice from that movie.
Okay.
Because once it's in public domain, it's in public domain.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay.
So, because
I think, but what you do
the
have
worst
to,
case. Huh?
well, what you do have to remember though is that things that like, okay, like the original Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse is now in public domain, but
Yes.
Mickey Mouse himself is not.
Not the more recent versions
Right.
of him. No.
Not the more recent iterations. Artists' renditions of the idea. The idea itself has passed into public domain. But these super identifiable Disney markers haven't. So if you want a Mickey Mouse, it has to
conform to the one that's in public domain, or you pay the license for the new one.
Right.
And that, like I said, for families, it should be something similar. You've got John Wayne and McClintock. Eventually, McClintock will pass into public domain, and that should be, once it hits that period, that should be fine.
Right.
But if his family wants to maintain, rights for sound and voice for, the two movies that came after that because they're not in public domain yet, great. It should hold the same kind of status quo across the board. If it is the copyright on it has ended, if the copyright on the work has ended to the point where it can enter the public sphere and it is no longer holding on to anything else, then it shouldn't be holding on to anything else. Now,
Okay.
if you're the estate of John Wayne in like 150 years and all of his previous works have passed into public domain, that doesn't mean you lose your rights on his stuff. It just means that any new stuff has a new copyright.
Well, there, Pilgrim. You're gonna have to wait for the new copyright to go into the public domain.
Yes, basically. I will be right back.
How is my John Wayne? Was it vaguely John Wayne?
Yes. It
Not racist enough.
I mean, yeah, it's... You can hear the general empathy in my voice, I think, when I speak. I feel like I speak with a lack of hatred that is audible. Well, there, Pilgrim. I don't hate anybody. That's actually how that's the start of... My John Wayne is the beginning of my running start for the Robert De Niro face.
Ah.
Well, there, Pilgrim. And then it morphs into... You talking to me? You must be talking to me. I don't see anybody else around. You must be talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea if that was a good De Niro. However, my Jimmy Stewart, I feel is pretty good. I do a decent Jimmy Stewart, I think. You know,
Yes, you do.
I mean, I want to live, Clarence. I want to live. The strawberry in question, Your Honor.
Doing
Can
silly voices
we-
I had to.
Can we enter the strawberry into evidence, Your Honor?
Nope.
Was the strawberry in the library, Your Honor? Your Honor, I would like to call your attention to the fact that my learned opponent has mispronounced, Your Honor, Your Honor. I have no idea, my good sir, of what you speak, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Making stuff up on the go there.
Yes. All right. Would you like to move on to something a little bit happier than the fact that the strike is still happening? The strike that started last July for this specific thing, as of March 25, is still happening.
Sure. However, I would like to point out, we really are still doing unscripted shows in support of any actor's strike.
This is our last
Now
actual
and in the
scripted show.
future. What was that? I'm sorry.
When was our last actual scripted show?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
February of last year?
Probably.
Had to be like February or March of last year, because I remember writing the script for the Floridaman Games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been about a year. And you know,
I think we've survived.
we've survived. I feel like scripted shows were fun, but they took a lot out of us as a group. Like, they required a lot of group effort. And then I felt like they didn't provide the group voice. You know? Like, it
They're
took...
not supposed to.
Right. It just felt... It didn't feel... I don't know. And maybe I'm just justifying it because it felt like a lot of work.
It was.
And I don't want to go back to doing a lot of work like that.
Well, you don't have to justify it for that. It's more a case of, or something that we were just starting out with and had no idea if we were going to keep going or not.
I mean,
It gave us a good place to start.
Yeah. And it was... When I was doing it alone, it was a good format for me alone because I didn't have anyone to play off of, you know?
Or distract you.
Right. And as soon as, like...
Well,
Untap.
Yep. As soon as you guys came into the picture, though, as soon as we started, like, interacting in the show, I feel like the show just got a lot better. Like, I feel like it has a lot more depth and humor.
I mean, some of the best and funniest moments in movies almost always end up being ones where whatever actors on the stage were basically told, here, have fun for 5 minutes, and they caught that on camera.
You know, go tell a director that. Directors love to hear that.
No, they don't.
I know they don't. Just
Unless they've got... unless they're working with Muppets, in which case they really have no choice. They're Muppets. Muppets
Right.
are gonna Muppet.
Muppets are gonna Muppet. But Muppet, I feel like the directors, the Henson directors, were sort of... I mean, the whole atmosphere there was different. You know?
Well, that's because the directors were also Muppets.
Right.
yeah, the Muppets are going to Muppet, so yeah, Tim Curry's going to Tim Curry.
Yes.
Right. But like, yeah. Directors and writers really don't like the idea that the spontaneity of an ad lib can be as powerful as it is. It's really, you know, writers and directors, and I'm not saying all of them are like this, but in my experience, they are, I mean, they're artists, but they're also craftspeople, and they are very carefully trying to craft something. They're very, I mean, their vision, for whatever their craft, it's very specific and meticulous. And I get that. And
If you don't have good writing in your script, you do not have places where good actors are going to look at it and say, hey, what if I said it this way? You end up with a fusion that is far better than either alone.
true. 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 I'm just saying, it's, I also understand when directors are like, oh, isn't that cute? You have an idea of how you want to do this. You know?
Yeah.
I personally am, as a director, I have kind of a light touch. As a producer, I have kind of a light touch. You know, as a writer, even, I have kind of a light touch. When I'm working with other people, I try to give them as much room as I can to express themselves how they want. For instance, the upcoming Sleaze Lamo Boogie Jive album and the album artwork.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave you a pretty rough set of outlines as to what my vision was.
Mhm.
And have let you do pretty much your thing. There's been very little outside, like, well, I don't know. I don't want to say that. Why don't you speak to how it's gone? What can you say to how much of an influence I have had in your artistic process?
I mean, honestly, your base set. I tried to match your base set of requests as close as I could, and then make refinements as I go along. It's like, what do you think of this? He needs greasier hair. Cool, greasier hair. What about this one? He needs this, and he needs to lose the microphone. Cool, we can lose the microphone.
Uh,
I think the biggest change was actually due to conversation that happened, where you went from your initial imaginings for group arrangement, and you've ended up with a 3-panel story so far that was
right.
unimagined from either side until there was effectively a
Collaborative.
careless comment by the peanut
Right.
gallery, and now it's a picture.
Right. Uh, my original vision, the frog creatures were supposed
Mm-hmm.
to look much more realistically like frogs, less cartoony.
Okay.
The British guy was supposed to look like a cross between 2D and Murdoch from the Gorillas, except for in the rough animation style of Aha's Take on Me. Or no,
Yeah.
yeah,
I know that animation.
right. So
He almost has that look to him.
almost, except not at all. Looks
Well, all right, almost has the animation look to him, and then the rest of it not.
right. So like it was, and then yeah, so. I think I envisioned the bug creatures as smaller and twice as many. The fuzzy caterpillar creatures, pretty much how I saw it.
Honestly, that was probably when you were telling me what you wanted. That was probably the clearest image that came through.
Right. And it's the most throwaway of them because it's the one that gets seen the least.
I know, but I still appreciate and love his little toes.
Yep.
I've got a friend that
So
I've known for years and years and years, and I will pet sit for her, and I will house clean for her, and do various things. And when I was working on coloring in and doing the main bulk of the first coloring in for your first image, I was over at her house, and I had taken and gone by Staples and printed out a couple sheets of that sketch and So in the evenings while I was pet sitting for her, I was using crayons and coloring it in and figuring out what I wanted before I did it for real. Because I'm weird and I like to play with actual crayons instead of just digital stuff sometimes.
I get it. I get it.
So, I did two or three mock-ups, and one of them included changing the stage so it looked like we were inside and stuff like that. And I left one of those sketches there for her. And when she came back from vacation, she's like, "What is this? Why is this? Who are these people?" Which then later led to pulling up on YouTube the whole Hidden Garden album and showing her the Hidden Garden album on YouTube and playing the music for her. And hopefully she's still got the link and she'll see today's show, because that was the last part of that whole thing was, oh yeah, no, you want to hear this is the person that did this. Here's the video. You can actually hear and see him.
That is so... It's just, I really don't know where these ideas come from. Like, why these ideas are so... Okay, the Hidden Garden, I know where that came from. Right?
Yes.
That's not my idea. That's Peanut Gallery's. It
was his original idea, and the rest of us came together to make it a
right.
more solid hallucination.
Right. But, like, the Sleaze Lamo Boogie Jive, the Sleaze Lamo Band, it started... it started when I was thinking about the D&D game. Or not the D&D, but the Star Wars game that we were playing.
How's that feel?
Right. Unlike my character Kip, I was this close to being Sleaze Lamo instead of being Kip.
Yeah.
I was, this close to being like a cantina performer instead of a pilot. But when I play tabletop games, I like to fill out the needs of the party.
Mm-hmm.
Which has led me to playing characters that aren't exactly what I would choose more often than not. Which is why I with this last game, I was like, I just want to be an elf that heals people. This is what I want.
I'm all for it.
However, we ended up where we're at because of collaborative imagination. I wanted to be an elf that heals people. And now I am the personification. I'm supposed to be playing the personification of imposter syndrome.
You're an imposter elf that heals people.
Exactly.
It works, or it will work.
Speaking of that,
the character needs to have a more Italian accent.
Huh?
The character needs to have a more Italian accent.
My character needs to have... No. Nope.
Because it's imposter syndrome.
I figured that's where that was going.
But I'm going to be very careful to not offend my Italian friends by trying to do an Italian accent, because I know I can't.
That's right. Just save that for game time and not on the air.
No. Nope. We're not even doing that at game time. Ethics is how you act in public. Morals is how you act in private. I don't see that there should be a difference between the two. If I'm not gonna do a bad Italian accent in public, I'll do a bad New York accent in public.
I think
But
that would
that's
work.
not Italian.
No, it's not Italian, but I think a bad New York accent works too.
I hope it is obvious that was not meant to be a serious suggestion.
It was. It was obvious that it was not supposed to be a serious suggestion. Let me make sure that that's clear.
As mud.
Yes. Besides which, my character is going to have so much fun corrupting your character, or trying to anyway. So, all in the name of making sure that you are taken care of and kept safe.
This is the person you meet tomorrow morning is not going to be the person you met last night.
I get that. I get that. But
And
still.
I'm going to I've found a way to I've realized I've found a way to do it in game. Or at least in character. I am gonna in the morning when the character gets up, they are going to resculpt their face. They are going to take time to resculpt their face and put on their more aggressive, their more self-assured, not aggressive, but self-assured mask. They're going to put on their more...
Didn't you kind of already do that before we ended the last session?
I resculpted my face, but
Right.
I didn't do a very good job of it.
Okay. So starting the next one, you're gonna do a better job of it.
Right, and as I do that, I'm going to pep talk myself into being a
More firm,
yeah,
more confident sounding.
more confident.
A good thing your character and my character are not sharing a room.
Yeah. Although, if your character is like if your room's right next to my room, you might be able to hear the pep talk in the morning.
Probably will.
Right? So.
Look.
Which will give me a reason to play it out in person in the, in the game. Like I kind of want to do that so that when I come down acting differently, looking different, acting different, being different, like there's something there for that.
I mean, yes.
Because I know that I don't know. I think John would not let the incongruity just go.
Maybe not.
You know?
You know that my character's not going to let it go.
No.
But also, your character doesn't know a thing about my character, so has no idea how I'm going to react.
True. However, my character does know how they're going to deal with your character.
They think.
I mean, yeah, they think. No, they know what they're going to do. They know they know how they're going to deal with your character. They don't know that if it's going to work or not.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing, like the other part of that is, your character spent more time with my character in that in that scene.
Yes.
We barely met his character.
True.
However, you and I were like,
We're sitting at the lunch table gossiping about everybody and appreciating all the sights
right.
while we enjoyed our meals. And neither one of us actually learned all that much about the other person at the table, other than the fact that we were appreciating company and gossiping like two people over a back fence.
Wow, Peanut Gallery. Wow.
But
Wow.
whatever you're going to say, I want you to know he's already left the room.
Wow.
Which one?
I went up John Leguizamo in a dress and came down Patrick Swayze in drag.
I mean,
Does it fit?
came back in the room.
I never came back into the room, so when I come down in the morning...
Peanut Gallery typed that and left the room, and then heard you and came back briefly.
Also, I never went back into the room, and no, it won't fit. I went up John Leguizamo in a dress. I'm gonna come down Lady Gaga in a suit.
Okay.
Either that or I went up Lady Gaga in a suit and I came down John Leguizamo in a dress.
Well, either which way, I'm going to go have a discussion with Mother Nature.
Now he's leaving for real this time.
All right. Don't sneeze.
It strikes me as very appropriate. And we're plotting what to do with our characters in front of the GM.
Well, okay, so I think something that people need to understand is that Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop role-playing games, aren't a competition between the players and the dungeon master.
No, it's
Nor is it a competition between the players to get the dungeon master to say, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Okay?
well, most of the time it's not.
Dungeons and Dragons is a collaborative thing.
Cooperative and collaborative.
And yes. It's not a set of rules. It's not a vehicle for doing math and rolling dice so that you can dominate a piece of paper.
It's collaborative storytelling.
Right.
But yeah.
I just sort of have had this.
Although when you can make the GM look at you and go, you want to do what now? And have the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot look on their face because
but
you've come up with as a group to solve the problem is so far opposite of what they had thought was going to happen.
That's fair, but
Yes.
That's fair, but that quickly degenerates into who can do the dumbest thing the most.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't. You
Don't
know,
listen to the
yes,
dumbest thing.
do have creative. Do have creative solutions to problems. That's what this is about, is creative problem solving. But I but see, this is also on the part of the dungeon masters. They need to give up the belief that there's only one way to solve a problem.
That's
You know, no matter how much you narrow the field of possibilities on how to solve a problem, it's not a video game, it's a tabletop role playing game. There is full freedom of movement.
yeah.
They're gonna come up with something that you do not see coming.
No, you don't.
And
Um,
it is your, as a DM, it's your job to incorporate their ideas. It's your job to bring life not only to your ideas but to their ideas. Man, Trev, geez, the way you talk about this, who hurt you?
we're
What?
not going down that road on this one.
No, we are not. It's
Right.
So the video game workers launch industry-wide union with communications. They're
Yep.
unionizing, eh?
They're unionizing. So if you look in the chat window, the first thing under that is going to be the actual press release from the CWA about this, and then the next article is from IGN, kind of telling a little bit. So go ahead and read the press release first. Oh, go up. Other way. Yes. Nope. Keep going. Yep, that one. The CWA press release. Read that first because it's short.
Video game workers launch industry-wide union with Communications Workers of America.
Yep.
Today, in a historic development for video game organizing, workers across the U.S. and Canada are launching United Video Game Workers CWA Local 9433, a direct join industry-wide video game industry union with the Communication Workers of America, CWA, in partnership with the American Federation of Musicians.
Uh-huh.
The launch will be formally announced at the 2025 Game Developer Conference in San Francisco, California, where workers will be joined by other CWA members to launch this powerful new organization. Okay, so
That's their official press release about that.
the creation of this union was not done in isolation. It is a cumulative effort by thousands of video game workers who have been fighting for years to redefine what it means to stand together and reclaim power, one of the largest and highest grossing industries on the globe. Tom Smith, CWA's Senior Director of Organizing. Our mission is to take back our lives, our labor, and our passion from those who treat us like replaceable cogs, to empower our fellow workers to link up arms with the laid off, with the freelancer, with the disillusioned contractor, with the disenfranchised and the marginalized, with the workers laboring invisibly to keep this industry afloat, reads UVW CWA's mission statement. We are going to create a game industry that works for us, one that nourishes its talent and invites in its future rather than constantly seeking short-term profits. We are the ones that make the games, so we must be the ones that set the terms of how we work. Sounds good.
Yep.
We'll see how it plays out.
Different person. I've heard this through a YouTube content creator earlier this week.
Yeah.
And their take on it, and one of the people that they were talking with that was actually knew more about the situation. Basically, instead of being just for voice actors, just for one part, this is across the board for everybody that works with video games and creates them, except for the people in HR and the ones that cash the checks or write the checks.
So this is... okay.
So...
I like that.
Yeah. And I was like, I can appreciate that they're... like, this is for anybody that actually has a creative or a meaningful part in creating a video game, other than, people in HR that sit there and tell you that you're charging too much for your services, which you're not.
Right.
And the people above HR telling them to say that.
Right.
But yeah.
So I'm kind of curious as to how this is being treated in the industry. I guess.
Right.
Can you give me a synopsis of what the IGN article says?
IGN article basically reiterates the press release, and it seems to be very much on the side of yay.
Yay, as in yay for the union?
The people that are making the union, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you have to be careful because yay could mean a lot of things.
Okay. IGN, their like I said, their article seems to be very much for this happening, for this moving forwards.
In the positive, and okay.
Yeah. This is, while this has been in the works for a while, according to their press release, this literally just happened this week. So there's not a whole lot of stuff about it yet. I imagine once that big conference happens in San Francisco or San Diego or wherever it is, we'll hear more.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if once they have people signing up for this across the board, and they now have 2 unions to deal with, if some of those larger companies that have been sitting there with the voice actor strike go, well, There's another one, and they're protecting everybody.
Yes.
We're not going to have to just deal with SAG-AFTRA. We're going to have to deal with them too.
Yeah.
Which, the fact that they're including and they're working with the music people is nice.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that too. There's a lot. It's a grind. Being a creative and getting anything, eking any sort of living out of this is an absolute grind. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and this is, this is a big deal to me, because of just where we here at Nikwork Entertainment fall on that spectrum of artists and workers' rights. And how much we promote the rights of the creative, the rights of the people who are doing the actual work.
Yeah.
At Nikwork Entertainment, all artists maintain all rights to their art, except for the few usage rights, it's going to be used here, it's going to be used here, like any revenue generated by that art goes to the artists. The artist has say on how the art is used. Internal artists are, anyway. When we, as a label, when we purchase a piece of artwork done by an outside artist, we kind of own that piece of art now.
Right.
But when we work with internal artists, we don't, we're not actually buying that art from that artist. We're we are using that art in that instance. And that artist then can say how that art is continued to be used. For instance, the art that you're doing for the Sleaze Lame-O Boogie Jive album.
Yes.
If you decide it is not, you don't want it used for merch, it won't be used for merch.
Oh yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with that. I want to see the weird band on a T-shirt, because that would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Again, this is just a hypothetical. Now, but you will get, of course, you would get paid for that if you, but, right. If you were against it, however, say, the song that's playing in the background now is Fubble Duck. It's Coffin Break from the Fubble Duck album. We bought the Fubble Duck artwork from an outside contractor.
Right.
That outside contractor is still going to get their share of profits made from merch.
Right.
But they won't have the ability to say, you can't use that on merch.
Yep.
That's the one difference between being and...
Between being an external artist and an internal one.
Right. That's the
I see you with the
one...
message.
Yes, I read the message.
Sorry.
Peanut Gallery said,
sorry.
is someone who writes organ music an internal artist? That's only true if you consider beans a musical fruit.
Don't start him.
No, if you're using that for your instrument, then you are a fartist.
Don't start him.
That music is a real
Moving
gas.
right along.
Too late.
Dang it.
I will stop there.
Okay, so yeah. We do have our feelings about unions, about artists' rights.
Yeah.
And we are very much in support of these people. We believe that we believe that the United UVW CWA is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to tackle the very last thing on the list?
Well, sure. Because... Oh, man. Why, Florida? Why? Why, Florida? Why you got a Florida so Florida, Florida? Why, Florida? Why? I mean, Florida, why you got a Florida? Every Florida, they're Florida.
Great. He's using Florida like Fraggle or Smurf.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying, man, you can Florida anything if you put an extra Florida in the Florida.
Yes, you can.
No.
So, this
Old
leads...
Florida man meme. I kind of want someone to do a parody song of They Might Be Giants Triangle Man with Florida Man.
Ooh.
Florida man, Florida man. Now,
That's no. Wrong theme song.
No, that's how it starts.
yeah, it's Triangle Man, Triangle Man.
Is everything in Triangle,
Triangle
can.
can. Triangle Man, it fought something man, something na na na.
Particle
Something
Man,
like-
Particle Man hates Triangle Man.
Triangle Man.
Triangle
Triangle
wins.
wins.
Particle Man.
Particle Man. If Particle Man... Oh, if Particle Man gets underwater, does he get wet or does water get him?
Yep. It might be giants. They don't make much sense. That's half the fun.
Actually, no. I feel like that is a very valid physics question. Like, that is something... Okay, at what point are you getting wet? And at what point is the water getting you?
The problem with They Might Be Giants is they're so smart, they're dumb. And the reverse is also true.
I know. They might be giants, just as, and will always have so much space in my head because they have generated questions that I just am not sure fully how to answer, such as,
were you aware that they made 2 separate children's science albums?
yes. Yes, I was. And my big question is still, that date that I had in Istanbul, I went to Constantinople. But no, that date I had in Constantinople, I went to meet her in Istanbul. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam?
So, have you watched The Umbrella Academy?
Bits and pieces of the
So-
first season.
In the first season, I think it might be the end of the first episode or possibly the end of the second episode. They have a rather brutal fight set to the tune of Istanbul was Constantinople.
Or putting on the Ritz.
No, it's Istanbul was Constantinople.
Or putting on the Ritz. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Yes, there are similarities, but a lot of the main bars are actually different. Because I love both songs.
Don't make me do a mix like I had to do with Frankenstein and Cheap Sunglasses.
I'm familiar with the Frankenstein song.
All right.
If I heard it, I would probably recognize it, but I do not recognize that as the title.
Anyway,
Okay, so you know Cheap Sunglasses by ZZ Top?
That one I recognize the title, but I can't play the music too.
Never mind.
yes.
I never said my brain was fully functional. Unfortunately, it done Florida.
No, they
I need an extra long fly swatter so I can get both of you.
are
What?
much like putting on the Ritz and Istanbul. It's the same song. Frankenstein and Cheap Sunglasses are the same song. I mean, the differences are so superficial that it's like it barely counts. And I did a mix. I did a live mix just to prove this point. And I called it Frankie's Sunglasses. And it is, on the YouTube. And in fact, I can play it right now for everyone on Twitch.
Okay.
Do we want to hear this? Are we trying to hear this?
If you want to do that, I have one question for you.
Sure.
Why, Florida? Why?
See, okay, now, hey. I was there. I was
And then I yanked
there.
you away. I know.
And
I'm
now
sorry.
you're yanking me back because I have a point to make now about something else.
Sorry, sir. Any yanking I do for you is purely coincidental.
I knew you were a Yankee.
Them's fighting words.
They are fighting words.
It's okay.
I kind of deserve it, but them's fighting words.
It's okay. I'm a Yankee at heart. I am not a Southerner at heart, even though I have got Virginia red clay worn into my skin down to the bone. I'm still a Yankee at heart.
Play your song. We'll do the Florida man story, and then we'll call it a day.
All right. So, my point being, Cheap Sunglasses and Frankenstein are the same song. So this is both playing at once right now. Both tracks are playing at the same time. This is, granted, this is the mix that's on YouTube.
I'm sorry, but it is not coming through on Discord.
That's because it's not being played on Discord. It's on Twitch.
Which I am not listening to so that I do not get the double reverb.
You're gonna have to turn up Twitch.
Hang on, I'll do it on mine. I'll have to turn on Twitch.
Frankenstein. And Cheap Sunglasses. And Cheap Sunglasses.
I like how there's a 2-second echo delay.
Yup. I literally hit play on both songs at almost the same time and cut bass by about half on both of them. And then crossfadering. The drum solo in Frankenstein is a guitar solo and is a guitar and keyboard solo in Cheap Sunglasses. And that's like, all right. Turn that down so that we don't actually get because that could get us talked to about copyright. So we're gonna skip forward to Hidden Garden there. Sorry, I thought I heard something at the door. So yeah, that is those, and that's my point about putting on the Ritz and Istanbul. They're very much the same song, and I believe that when I do that, when I press play at pretty much the same time, they'll line up pretty neat.
Could be. Might be interesting to see.
We're gonna find out. Now we're gonna find out, because at some point I'm gonna do that then.
Okey-dokey.
But
First,
let's move on to Floridaman Games.
yes.
Why Florida? Why? Why you got a Florida? Who won 2025 Floridaman Games with Slingshot Sports Bra moment? Returning champs win second time? Oh. Okay, this is from Florida Today. The second ever Floridaman Games have come and gone, with the returning champions from the inaugural games defending their title as the ultimate Florida men and women. The 2025 games featured a new competition involving a Florida man baby daddy, mannequin, a sports bra slingshot, and a water balloon, which was the challenge. Break. What?
And a commercial break, he said.
Thanks for breaking the momentum.
I'm sorry, but
no, I know we're in commercial break. I do. I know we're in commercial break.
I'm sorry.
I was choosing to just go through it because it's if I'd paused the commercial, it only would have been for 2 minutes, and then it would have come back. And it would have been easier just to like go through the commercial. Pausing for commercial breaks, I've realized, is something. It's something I don't mind doing on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because those are going to be more edited anyway. Those streams, when they come to video, are going to be more edited anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that I don't edit Saturday videos at all, I just slap a pre-recorded live on them.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it is what it is. It's past. Like, I am explaining to you and the viewers why.
Yep. That's fair.
Yeah, and I mean, I do feel like the viewers do kind of deserve to know that, like, the Twitch viewers deserve to know that, like, it's not that I don't love you guys. It's just that
you're choosing the lesser of editing headaches.
Right. Because I can't. I don't have it in me to do heavy editing all the time. I've got so much other stuff going on that, and it's hard because I know people are like, well, it's your job. Do your job. Be there for your whole job. Do your whole job. It's like, but.
Yes, but no. In this instance, you are both the creator and the producer and the director. So if the director says, we're not stopping.
Right.
We're doing this in one long take. We're doing it in one long take.
Right. Also, I am I'm the forward face of the business.
Right?
It's not like while I'm sitting here editing, someone else can go out and go be the public, the public face.
No.
And while I know it sort of sounds like I'm justifying going out and hanging out in public, going to the Leaf and hanging out, part of why we have the ability to put their name on the show like we do is because I have developed a relationship with the people there.
Mm-hmm.
And part of why I have the viewership that I have is because I've gone out and met so many people. A lot of my viewership has been word of mouth, not not stumbled across so much. And so it is equally got to be my job to go out in public and meet people as it has got to be to make the shows happen.
Mm-hmm. And while people hear my voice a lot, I am certainly not you.
Yes. And you have a lot of creativity. You are, but this is also not. I mean, you've signed on.
Yes.
And you've become part of it. But this is not, your. This isn't your baby like it is mine.
No.
This isn't your creation like it is my creation. And
Yep.
without some sort of direction for the vision, I think you would be as this requires my I don't know. This is still not enough of a force of its own to go on without some sort of cohesive vision at the helm.
Yeah.
I can't wait until it is, however. There is a part of me that is just like, can't it just do its own thing yet?
I think chat says that nicely for you.
Live my creation, live!
Okay.
Sorry, with the earlier comments about Frankenstein and you saying that stuff up in the head.
It is. I get that. So,
back to the article.
I'm trying to figure out where we were. All right. The 2025 games featured a new competition involving a Floridaman baby daddy mannequin, a sports bra slingshot, and a water balloon, which was the challenge that won Team Hanky Spanky from St. Augustine, Florida, their second championship belt. But the fun is far from over. The organizers confirmed that there's a Floridaman Games TV deal on the horizon. Oh, Jesus. Floridaman Games TV show.
Back in the 90s and late 80s, didn't we call that Double Dare?
No. That was not nearly dangerous enough. That was Canadian Floridaman, which meant it was safe.
Ninja Warrior.
American Ninja Warrior.
That. Again, too much class. I really feel like we're missing
See, the rebroadcasts of the original Japanese Ninja Warrior, there was very little class. There were a number of people who took it seriously and were pure badass. And then there were people who tried to do this stuff in a lobster suit.
Yes.
That's fair. That's fair. However, I wish to read you this excerpt from the article that I feel sums up the entire thing and makes those lobster suits look classy. According to Melfi, winning team Hanky Spanky was down by only 1 point towards the end of the games and got that point and got the points that won them the game in a new Florida Woman challenge. The task was to knock out a Floridaman baby daddy, a mannequin, smoking a cigarette by using a sports bra slingshot and a water balloon. Enough said. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not, because
Okay.
Christy Donnelly of Team Hanky Spanky, with her final shot, and the final shot of the night, the one that won everything, hit the mannequin in the nuts, and it slowly fell over.
Are we sure it was a mannequin?
No. But I feel like what says it all is it was a nut shot that won.
I mean,
That's just nuts.
so shocking. Oh, would you like to hear something else?
To quote Iago from Aladdin, I'm not surprised. I could have a heart attack and die from not surprise.
Yes. All right, here's something to make it even more horrendous, potentially. All right,
What you got?
last year, they held the games, I want to say, like, in and around St. Augustine. This year, they had to move them for a bigger venue, and they were at the St. Johns County Fairgrounds in Elkins, Florida.
Okay. Elkins, Florida.
Yes. As opposed to our very own town of the same name
I mean,
up there near the West Virginia border.
Yes, there is an Elkins, Virginia. This is one of those things, though, like, there's a... It, there are towns that share names across states. And... Yeah, I just...
Mm-hmm.
Hey, just remember, in Central Virginia, you can tour Europe
Yes, you can.
That is true.
from Dublin to Moscow.
Syria included.
Yep. You can. You can. And in certain towns, if you go street by street, you can hit all 50 states.
Yep.
I
And
had
of
someone
course,
visit me.
there's Charlottesville, where every name has 3 roads, and every road has 3 names.
I think you're underestimating there.
Yeah. I mean, we have
Oh yeah,
what,
they
5
have grown.
different second streets?
Okay, at least. I should have gone with at least.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We will accept at least.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
the games have grown in popularity enough to where they had to take them to an actual fairground to be held this year.
That is, not surprising, actually. There's a temptation to try and go next year.
I know.
Get live footage.
Yep.
And then I remember it's in Florida.
Yep.
And guess where the F I never feel the need to go again.
Yeah, I hear you.
New Jersey?
Yup. Oh, man. Oh, I felt terrible the other day. Okay. So, and I must have been, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before yesterday. I was up at the Hidden Leaf, doing my, doing my usual help the customers thing.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of women come in, older women, older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave them the talk about what, what's there, what they can, what to, and what different stuff is, and da da da. And at some point, one of them was like, "Oh, we're from Jersey. We have nothing like this here." There, I said, "Oh, you're from Jersey. What exit?"
Oh no.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How did they
She's like-
react?
She went, "Oh, poof. 81." I was like,
Uh-huh.
very good. It's like, I'm sorry. She goes, "No, but you're not wrong." It's like,
So she did a double take, a spit take, and then finally just gave in.
Yeah. Sounds like.
kinda. She was amused, irritated, bemused, and accepting. I think bemused, amused, irritated, and accepting. I think that's the order.
Damn it, Will.
Who?
What?
Where?
When? And sometimes why?
And W.
No, W is never a vowel, no matter how many times you turn it upside down. Dude, why don't all my M&Ms say W on them?
Good question.
Alright, well, now that we've managed to completely derail everything.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Apparently, we derailed your lungs too.
Yeah. I do believe it is about that time on the show. In a couple of weeks, we should have the musician Danny Byrne on. He's let me know that he's free on the 5th, I believe. So we have penciled in for the 5th with him.
Okay.
Um,
For next week, the regular Sunday Pokemon tournament has been moved to Saturday because they've got a conflict of way too many things everybody's trying to do that Sunday.
okay.
So next Saturday, you'll have me for a little while, and then I'm running away to go do Pokemon things.
Understandable. Yeah, next Saturday is. I think we should catch up on the on what's been going on in the news next week.
I got some things I can pull for you.
Well, there's
You got some things you can pull.
There's some stuff I want to talk about. Uh, you know, the dismantling of USAID, as well as the unlawful dismantling of the U.S. Project for Peace, Initiative for Peace, something like that. Institute for Peace, I think.
Voice of America.
Right. They're a Reagan era anti-communist think tank, essentially. But we'll look into some of that next week. And I feel like we could I could rant for a little while about American citizens disappearing off the streets, being detained extrajudicially.
Mm-hmm.
I think we want to check in on the progression of fascism in America. Just check in on the progression of fascism in America next week.
Yeah.
And that's the plan. So, well, that's a deep subject.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I guess we can touch on that. We'll get that stuff rolling early and quick, and whenever you have to dip out next week, you have to dip out.
Yep.
Leave me banging my fist and yelling, bang my fist on the desk and yelling at the air about those people.
Sounds good.
I keep hearing people float around that we need a Joe Rogan on the left. Yeah. There's so much we need on the left. As leftists, we need to get our act together. Nah,
Yeah.
I thought I had a punchline there, but I don't. Dang it.
No.
Oh well. Well, all right, friends. Now's the time.
You left us far behind.
There it is. Ow.
Yep.
Well played. Well, friends, now's the time on the show when I say stick around for the raid. And thank you both for being here. Peanut Gallery, Cat. Couldn't make the show without you guys. You guys definitely help. Indispensable, I believe is the word. Just Me Crystal, thank you for being here. Chris in the 386, thank you. All the lurkers, thank you. And now is the time on the show when I say, as they say around here, 2 up, 2 down. VA, double deuces. We're out, y'all.